One thing I learned is that these beings in here are way smarter than anything that's happening in here. Anybody that's doing anything in here, these beings either laid out some kind of playscape and marveled at your coming of age self. And the people in here are doing the same thing over and over again. Can't begin to measure up to someone who can create it without flesh. And they're in trouble with their predecessor or whatever, but they still changed the whole world. So just for an example, these people lay out playscapes, ground rules, a play set, you know. We're just like little ants in here, all of us. No matter who the fuck you are. They come in here and they say, oh, let me build a swing set over there. And then so I can let the reptilians go play, for example. See, I mean, these people are like way more advanced than anything that we can even begin to understand. So I was right about the high circle and this hands needing a brain shit. I'm trying to tell you, these people are fucking extremely advanced out here, outside of here. So, yeah. So it seems to me that the recent events, the videos, things that happened last night, revealed parts of myself that I could have never known. And they know more still. They know more still. It's very interesting. So, like the cognitive dissonance is probably one of them. One of those in the list. Because when I was young, the brother that had, it was a shill, all right? He was a fake stand-in. And he would get himself in trouble just so hopefully we can all get, you know, whipped or whatever, so that dad can come home and try to sink his teeth into it. The situation, he really wants to hurt me. But the brother, as long as he keeps getting himself in trouble, then maybe I'll just keep getting myself in trouble if I'm influenced by him. You know, like I was saying about the cookies in a box, or don't eat them all, greedy. So what I see now is that after school, nobody would be home. So the two troublemakers, they would go and start eating cookies and Debbie snacks and stuff. And they would look at me and say, don't you want one? So whenever the father comes home, he's like fucking furious. And he wants to hurt me more than the others. They fight. He wants to know if I was involved. See what I mean? So, and I remember one time they fought and I had nothing to do with it, and he still with me because he really wanted to hurt me. The truck accident, he takes all of our seatbelts off. We can all equate as adults that he tried to kill us, but they were both in on it. The kids would sacrifice themselves to try to get to me, and I was in the truck, intentionally pretending to be drunk to try to make us go through the windshield. He takes our seatbelts off right before he hits the median. Like, really? And he admits it. You know, I did do that, didn't I? I'm just like, what the fuck? So these people, they're just really interesting, and they're fucked up, and shit, it seems like they'll hurt themselves. All right, so yeah, it exposed a lot of things about myself, and I guess I'm gonna keep going through this to see what's next, because clearly I don't know myself more than she does. I don't realize what's wrong in there, and she's taking some really impossible, complicated, to me, measures, seemingly effortlessly to produce an outcome that exposes these disorders. So, going down that list, ask yourself, how many of you out there that have those types of issues, depression, an enforced sense of inferiority, cognitive dissonance? All right, the fake brother, he had a magnetic field around him that when Hollywood showed up as a kid in my yard, I was able to see her looking over his shoulder, and I said, who in the fuck is that? Wow, she's really pretty. You're getting a kiss? Where did she come from? We're playing hide and go seek. And ironically, imagine that, hide and then go seek, right? So I see over the shoulder this girl, and she disappeared ever since then. She never been back. But when I went there and I seen him, he turns to me and says, a little privacy, please. And I was hit with a cognitive dissonant beam, which means that brother was like some kind of like hive brain, like cognitive dissonant ray type way more sophisticated than I had ever even imagined. That young kid that was pretending to be my younger brother even went into stores after hours, and would take things from stores, sneaking out the window, coming home with Debbie cakes, a bottle of some Mad Dog and shit like that, and says, hey, don't you want to do this too? I see why now. Eventually I did it. But then when I go into the store, I get caught. And then the manager comes out and tries to confront me in front of the fake dad and the brother. So everything is like some kind of weird setup for me to fail. And I can see it now. They're all in on it. Those little boys can't get themselves into trouble. Think about it. So, onward we go through the fog. Stay tuned for more Grimnasty TV. And as always, look at me all jittery. It's very an anxious, nerve-driving excitement to look back on your life and see things like that that have transpired to be something that can be equatable as like holy fuck balls. You know, years later, you're like, wait, I was right about that. And it makes you very, you very excited in the most anxious of ways that can't even be. Welcome to Grimnasty TV.